I can't get enough of that. I can't hear you.
I was muted. Here we go. Let's start again. Off the rails before we even get going.
Hey, it's 2023, New Year.
Yeah. Just say, yeah, another week,
right.
another podcast.
That's right.
Here we go again.
How was the week, my friend?
The week? Not bad. I had a few days off, and then today another snowpocalypse came in.
Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon took me out. Went out to shovel this morning. Just on the off chance I decided I wanted to risk my life to go into the office. And it wasn't bad, but no, I'm not going out.
No.
So worked from home. Went out again noonish after the plow went by. Just a huge mound left. Like talking Jeff Goldblum and Jurassic Park, a huge pile of shit. Just shoulder high. Like terrible. Like I couldn't believe that somebody could have been that inconsiderate.
You could have played King of the Castle on that hill.
I could have, but it was in the middle of the road, just right in front of the house. So I have electric plow blower, not a big. I used to have a gas power blower. It was my grandfather's, so it's probably 30, 35 years old. Just does not. You cannot do a regular sized driveway on a full tank. It just eats the gas like no.
Especially at that age of the snowblower.
And but it's still wanted to take off. So if you just give it a little bit, just start going into your it's gone, and it's up at a 45-degree angle. You're missing half the stuff you want to get. You have to pull it back and start again. So it had kick. So it was just too old, too big for what we needed it for. So I got an electric smaller one, which if it's light, fluffy like today, fine.
Yeah.
But once the plow goes by and it starts to harden, no.
Yeah, that or if there's any moisture within the snow, it's not gonna work.
So our new neighbor, she's got a blower, so she's been oh, I have no problem. I'll do the end for you. I'm like, thanks.
Amazing.
So while she's doing that, I'm cleaning up her driveway and her walk for her.
Right.
Repay the favor.
As one would do when receiving a favor.
If I keep this up, if she's going to do that and I keep helping, then she'll continue to do that for me.
I will make sure there's a path to your door, no problem.
Exactly. So when I went out after dinner, she was gone, I guess, to do groceries or whatnot. Because she came back and she couldn't believe
to get gas for her snowboard.
Okay, yes. She couldn't believe the amount of snow that had accumulated in the time that she was gone. So when she came back, she saw me with my little blower clearing out her driveway. So
Corey's like, I timed it perfectly.
Yeah. I literally just sat there in the driveway waiting for the car to pull up.
You know what, though? My neighbor across the street at her old house, she would do that. She would literally go to the end of the driveway and just basically stand there with her shovel and just wait and look and look and look. And I was like, no, if you you ask for help, don't stand there and assume that I'm just going to have a pity party and come over and help you out every time. It was not she'd just come out and she'd shovel maybe half a shovel's worth and just throw it up and then stand there for 10 minutes. I was like, no, this is not how it works.
Well, that's like my wife. She would go out and our old neighbor used to get their driveway cleared. So she would luck out. She'd go out. There's no way she could have timed it just because she would not know when the service is going to hit that house. But luck would have it. She would go out at a certain point as she's doing it. She'd get the horn from the guy and she'd look up and he direct her away and then he'd clear it for her.
Oh, perfect.
So just do that all the time.
Every time. When Matt Scooby tells you what the weather's going to be, that's when you know what your cue is. 100%. I myself have not shoveled or done anything since last podcast because I have hurt my back and have not been able to recover. I went to physio. I went to chiro on Monday thinking that would help.
Yeah.
It did not. And I have a history of back issues. was not able to walk, was not able to bend down, was not able to get up from lying down, get up from sitting down. Just I was not able to live life.
Yeah.
And went to Cairo, figured that would maybe help. It didn't. I had a physio appointment then on Wednesday. And after the assessment, the physiotherapist is like, well, we feel like you might have what's called spinal derangement. So we're going to have to refer you to a sports doctor to have that assessed before we can start any plan with you.
So is it safe you can say that you are deranged?
Yes. Spinal tap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have not done anything this week other than sit in my chair to work or lie in bed and do nothing. But Jade today, God bless her, she actually took the snowblower out for the first time and did it on her own. She was amazing. Yeah, at first she was like, I don't like this at all. And by the end of it, she's like, I love this. I'll do this every time. And I was like, yeah, as long as you get the feel of it, then
yeah,
it'll be good to go. Like you just have to get the feel of it before you rule it out as something.
Now, did she enjoy it because of the workout that it comes with it too?
No,
or just the power at her hands.
Just the power, just the raw, like power. Power. Exactly. No, she. It was so funny at first. She just brought it forward, and then I told her there's different speeds, and you shouldn't probably start it on speed 4, bring it down to 1, and that'll help. And then just get used to it and whatnot. And I would say the joke though, what made me laugh most all week was Arlo. I forget what day it was. They got home from school, and I limped down the stairs holding onto the railing just to see how their day was. And without skipping a beat, Arlo's like, "Daddy, you should get the chair that goes up and down that old people sit in for your back." And I was like, oh my God. And it was just like so sincere. Like wasn't saying it as a joke, was legit like thinking that's
trying
a good
to be
idea.
Helpful, right?
Trying to be helpful. And obviously we laugh about that. And now he's just running with that joke every time he sees me. Did you get the chair yet? I'm like, okay, kid, like stop.
When is it getting installed? That's all he wants to know.
That's right. He thinks it might be a ride. I'll take it to Wonderland instead, kid.
I had that with Parker when he came in. He wanted to give me a hug. And I was like, oh no, man, I'm all sweaty. So then later on, he's like, are you still sweaty? I said, yeah, a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't give you a hug. I'm like, you can still give me a hug. I'm just letting you know. It's like,
yeah, it's more for you, not me.
Yeah, it's just a warning, man. Yeah. If you want to hug me, by all means.
Yeah.
So you said your wife she's of the UK persuasion, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Is she all about or all against this royal nonsense that's plaguing all social and news and all this crap?
No, I would say that she's definitely a monarch, but not a like diehard monarch. She loved the Queen, I think, as most people did. So I think she has an appreciation for the institution, but doesn't get caught up in all of the BS that's going on with and let's be honest, I mean, BS has been going on in the institution forever. I think it's only because we have information at our fingertips, and by the second that it's so much of a focus on it right now. But she doesn't care really one way or the other. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So she's not getting his book.
No, I don't think she. I think she would read it just to read it. Like I don't think she would. Like, I don't know. Actually, this is all assumptions. We have not talked about this. I'm intrigued to read it just to hear the stories and whatnot. But that's without knowing the full context of what the book is. I'm assuming that the book is simply just him telling stories of his youth, shit that he got into, stories of celebrities and mishaps and whatnot. But is the intention of the book to slander the monarchy, like the family?
Probably.
Do you know?
A little bit.
Okay. Well,
it's probably like one of those things where it's not just clearing the air, but I think it's him trying to clear the air on behalf of his wife and what she says has gone on, and it's his validating of it.
I would tend to believe, like, he was on 60 Minutes this past this past Sunday.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
And Anderson Cooper interviewed him, and I watched probably maybe about 10 minutes of it, and then I passed out, which is what I've been doing for last week. Can't sustain anything. Can't sustain anything. Bullet Train, another thing, but anyway, I digress. I feel like he is driven by what happened with Princess Diana in terms of him protecting and isolating his family. Not isolating his family, but removing his family from
not
insulating his family. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because with Diana, it was everything opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what happened, unfortunately, he was 8-10 years old when she passed away, if that.
Yeah.
And had to deal with it, right? So I think he's just trying to make sure that with Meghan Markle, is it? And Archie and whoever the youngest one is, he's just protecting them, which I'm all for. But yeah, who knows? I mean, it's like a fucking, not Game of Thrones, but it's almost like a, how would you explain it? This whole family is like just kind of in their own little reality, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
So are you gonna read it?
No, Ashley will. She's all about them. I don't know. I don't get it. I guess it must be a girl thing about the idea of royalty and princes and princesses, but like a realist, I'm like, yeah, okay, they are that, but they also don't run their country. It's a figurehead. It's like not a spokesperson, but like the face of a nation.
The symbolism.
Yeah. It's I don't know. That's neither here nor there for me, my friend.
Have you watched the Crown on Netflix?
No, I'm surprised that Ashley hasn't either. Like I keep telling you,
it's really good.
Like it's fictionalized in a sense. Like you're right, some stuff.
Yeah,
like based on, like inspired by true events.
Yeah.
Embellished
a little bit for sure, but there are a lot of things that you wouldn't have known unless you really were a follower of the family.
Yeah, it's like when I watched Public Enemies again. I'm like, how much of this actually occurred? Because nobody was around when John Dillinger was around.
That's with Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
I remember the only thing I know, like the only memory I have of that movie is I tried to watch it, but it was so dark that I couldn't see anything and I couldn't hear anything. I was like, well, I'm watching a black screen, so I'm just gonna turn it off.
It's like that Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah, like I couldn't make heads or tails what was happening, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stop watching it then. My freaking iPad is going crazy over there. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I thought maybe it was your phone or something.
No, it's just text Jade. I'm like, can you please come up and mute this because it's going crazy right now.
So. All right, speaking of royalty.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's take a look at the new Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania trailer that dropped this week. And we can talk over, obviously, because we're not muted.
I'm so excited.
You have a daughter, but you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you?
Oh, like
what's that?
Sold. Right there. This frame right here, I'm sold.
I can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance. Let me make this easy for you.
Oh, I think I know what he wants.
We had a deal. You thought you could win. I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, Cassie.
Like, is it February 17th already or what?
Yes.
Like,
Wait, no, it's only the 13th of January.
I've got that many more days to wait. Frick.
Now, is Hulk Hogan also going to be at Quantumania?
Hulk Hogan?
Is this not WWE's Quantumania?
Yeah. All you Hulksters.
Cage match.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, brother.
Michelle joining the cast here a little later than
Just made it in. I almost missed the trailer.
I was going to say, I'm sorry for your power loss for your laptop.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's it seems to be fine now. I'm at a solid 4%, so
Nice.
it should be okay.
My my laptop the other day just would not shut off no matter how many times I hit shutdown. It would just stay on.
Oh, really?
Did you try hit it to go to sleep?
Did you try turning it off and on again?
It wouldn't turn off.
It wouldn't turn off the first time.
So then Rogers has nothing he can do to help me with. I also thought at certain points the voice that Jonathan Majors is doing made him sound just like Forrest Whitaker.
without the eye.
Without the well, he's got the scars, I guess.
Yeah, he's got the scars. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It seems like
McCoy's on board.
Jonathan Majors is like
100%
everywhere,
getting jacked up for this too.
Well, he's like, so we'll talk about this a little later, but I think 2023 is the year of Jonathan Majors, just because of the movies that he's in.
Creed, yeah, it's probably jacked up for Creed, and then
for sure
be part of it.
I am 110% on board for this movie.
This movie seems like this is the official beginning of Phase 5, right?
Correct, yeah.
But Phase 4 was just a mess of like they introduced a bunch of stuff but didn't really move the story forward, right? Yeah. But it seems like this is the movie that's going to set up 5 and 6, right? Like this is 100%. The one that's going to, this is the, basically first phase before Avengers happens. And like it's just setting up all this stuff so that ideally we stop talking about Thanos now in every single movie ever and move on to talking.
He'll get brought up again.
Yeah, but hopefully, now we start talking more about Kang.
Which I think that's what the intention is, because at the beginning of the movie it says, witness the beginning of a dynasty, which definitely will end up resulting in the Kang dynasty, that Avengers movie. What, Avengers 4, I guess it would be.
There's only going to be because we didn't really get an Avengers style movie for Phase 4, right? So it's still just Avengers 5, and then because it's Kang Dynasty, and then what's the other one called?
Secret Wars.
The Secret Wars 1 and 2. So there'll be 3.
Oh, so there are going to be 3 kind of big movies.
So 1 Avengers movie for Phase 5, 2 for Phase 6.
Gotcha. But it's also that's kind of just basically like Infinity War and Endgame kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So like how they're together, right? Like I would still consider that there's 3 Avengers movies, but Infinity War and Endgame are packaged.
Because they were part 1 and 2 originally.
Yeah.
When it was originally announced. But that's the other thing I was going to say. Knowing the long game, didn't Marvel kind of give you play their hand to know how this one's going to end? Like there's going to be no resolution with Kang, right? It's just going to be whatever. If anything happens to Scott and this crew of people, we know Kang's moving on to the next one.
Right. Yeah, there's no way Kang dies.
I think
or
no.
Or maybe this is not the be all end all variant that we learned from Loki, right?
I
feel many of the variants.
This movie will really emphasize and play on the fact and educate the viewers on how much control Kang has with time. So however the outcome of this movie is, because he is, for lack of a better term, the master of time, it doesn't matter how this movie ends, because the Kang dynasty can be him coming from another time period, can be, He Who Remains, can be Immortus, can be any other variant of his. And I think that's the thing, because it's time, everything's very fluid, everything's very malleable with how it will eventually end in the. I watched this movie, or this trailer, pardon me, and the first trailer I was like, oh yeah, okay, like I'm excited, and then the second trailer, I'm convinced now that as much as I hated Phase 4 and all of the fallacies that came with it, I feel that hoping, I should say, maybe that Marvel treated Phase 4 as almost like an interlude, almost like okay, we're going to hit the pause button. We just spent 3 phases of doing this one huge story arc. We're going to use Phase 4 to introduce some new characters, and everybody is already anticipating that we're going to progress the larger story through the end credit scenes and whatnot. But we're just going to take a pause. We're just going to do our own phase, introduce a few new characters, and then Phase 5 will be that initial kickoff of the next story.
So I'm almost like anyway. how they ended with Avengers and then Iron Man 3, and then did
Ant-Man was the end of Phase 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just like a little, just relax.
A little palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Except this one lasted 3 years.
This one cleansed
not just one movie.
There was this aftertaste that just wouldn't go away.
Maybe it was just COVID brain and it lasted a lot longer in our minds than really what it did. But yeah, and maybe I'm a bit biased because Kang is one of my favorite villains in Marvel. But like comic accurate, just everything I feel this movie is setting up for. Very excited. Very excited.
I just wish he would have stayed blue and kept his helmet on.
Yeah. But it makes so I wonder if the same technology that the Avengers used in Endgame to go back in time, how their face mask turned blue. I wonder if it's the same thing for Kang. And it's that same technology that
but Kang doesn't need technology, right? He's just
But Kang originally is from the 30th century or 31st century. So he's originally from the future. He's a descendant of Reed Richards. So there's a connection there with the Fantastic Four, but his real name's Nathaniel Richard, and he's from way in the future. And then there's a huge, huge story about him coming back in the past because he was complacent with the future and whatnot. So
then the He Who Remains in Loki, is that actually Kang? That's
yes.
Because he talks about how he was in the future and he came back and met his other variants, or not came back, but he traveled into the different multiverses and met others like him, I think.
So the answer, yes, it is in some fashion. I think Kang was the first Marvel character to have a variant because of the simple fact that he could travel through time.
Right.
And you had the Kang variant from the Egyptian times. You had He Who Remains, who's from, I can't remember, Immortus. There's a number of different ones. So he is Kang, but he's the variant of him.
Right.
And Immortus is the older version of Kang from the future. And I think Immortus is from the Avengers Forever storyline from the 90s with Kurt Busiek and Carlos Pacheco, which I think in that story, it's him. He's trying to go after what's called the Forever Crystal, which it's kind of almost like the same thing with the Infinity Gauntlet, where the Forever Crystal lets you warp and bend time to your will. And so he was working for the Timekeepers, and the Timekeepers wanted him to prevent the Avengers from exploring the cosmos, because if they were to do that, then there would be a ripple in the time stream. And so they made Immortus prevent that, or asked him to prevent that. But really what he was after, spoiler, was this thing called the Forever Crystal. Which would allow him to manipulate time. And so when I hear Kang talking in the trailer about, you know what I want, this is what I want, I think it's the Forever Crystal that he's going after.
Was that when you said, oh, like this frame right there, I'm in? Was that point where he said?
No, just that frame was just him like.
Yeah. Oh, just showing
full
him
on like comic accurate garb.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
I that's basically when I kind of popped in, so I just heard you say that, and I missed what actually happened in the trailer. So.
And I think it's also like, this is also the redeeming moment for Scott Lang in the movies, right? Like he spent time in jail in the first one. You saw him play heroics in Civil War and, Endgame. And
house arrest in the second one.
Yeah, house arrest.
Yeah. So I think this is his redeeming moment. So I think it'll be a nice little end cap to his story arc. One thing I read too was that the MODOK in the trailer is going to be the Daniel Cross character, like the Yellow Jacket character from the first Ant-Man. And so in the first Ant-Man, if you remember at the end of the movie, he was shrunk and he was distorted and he was thrown into the quantum verse. And there's a feeling that he will play the MODOK character from Quantumania. So we'll see.
So it wouldn't be like a new enemy. It's just going to be him reincarnated, or like
him like
that's what he
reformed.
Turned into.
Yeah.
So it'll be that's good because he was a pretty useless villain in Ant-Man.
Aren't they all? Weren't they all though?
I mean, that's true.
They're all one-dimensional, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was
power
just
and money.
The good guy, but bad.
That actually is a good question. What would you say is the best Marvel villain in any of the movies that there's been? Like the most fully rounded villain.
Like
it's tough. It's tough.
Thanos, just for like he.
Okay, let's remove Thanos.
Okay, well, come on now.
But you look like Ronan was nah. Ghost was nah.
I would say, other than the like vast amount of luck and things that needed to happen the exact way, the guy from Civil War had a good this is what he wanted to do. He wanted
Zemo.
The Avengers to Zemo.
Yeah.
But like the way it happened, like just so many things that he had to make happen the exact right way.
It's like the Joker in Dark Knight. He wanted to lock him up in the MCU.
Exactly. Like, great villain. Everything happened perfectly to allow him to be that villain. But I think Zemo is kind of the best of those.
Just underused.
Also, like, I mean, Killmonger, even though it's basically he's the good guy but bad, but like he actually had good motivations and good, this is like, and he would say like, this is why I'm doing this, and he had like reasonable reasons to do that stuff, not just like I'm a bad guy, I want to destroy the whole world. He's like,
because it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, don't you hate Wednesdays?
I'm going with Adrian Toomes from Homecoming.
Yeah, he was also just so good.
He not really a bad guy, but his
just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not like he was doing bad things, but he was just trying to pay the bills,
trying to make ends meet, man.
And he would do whatever it takes to make sure that money was coming in for his family.
But him making ends meet was working out pretty fine if you remember the house he was living in.
Yeah, I know. That's too. I'm like, you know what? After a while,
he wasn't living in like no condo.
And that cab scene when he's figuring it out.
Oh yeah,
it's just fucking
he was fantastic.
Like chilling.
Yeah.
Our good old friend Spider-Man and that look he's given at the red light. And
So
he
good.
knows that he knows that he knows.
Yeah. I know that you know that I know that you know. So I'm going to let you know that I know.
You know?
So good. So good.
Yeah, but outside that, pretty much.
I mean, what
everybody is
about like
one-dimensional.
Malekith from The Dark World?
Who?
Sorry, I couldn't.
Yes, Malekith from Dark World, the Dark Elf.
God,
for sure,
Honestly,
absolutely.
have you seen that movie more than once?
I have, just because I've done the run through.
Same.
I didn't say like I sat
Okay.
there and paid attention, but I've
Unfortunately.
seen it. My
Yeah.
eyes locked with the screen a few times to check the runtime, make sure it's over.
That's one that I
I'll also say, to some degree, like really on and off, but Loki was very good. Like in certain movies, he was a good villain, and in other ones, he was just like a joke. But I think as an overall, Loki was always
that's fair.
You know, just like an annoying villain, but like very lovable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I to play on that, I'd say the best villain in that regard, Wanda in WandaVision, not in Doctor Strange.
True.
Yeah.
I'll get on board with that.
But
yeah, I think that would be like the top ones.
Yeah, like, but you have Ironmonger, not so much.
But that's Whiplash. The thing, though. There's been 28, 29 movies, and
I think the latest Black Panther was 30.
Yeah.
Was it 30? Okay, 30. Yeah. Okay, so this proves my point even more. 30 movies, and we've come up with 3.
Yeah.
Ones that were like solid, tunes,
good.
You know.
Yeah.
And one of them, Wanda from WandaVision, wasn't even part of the movies. That was from the TV show. So if you factor those in, come on, Marvel.
Yeah, come on, Marvel.
That's the thing. Like Marvel historically has had a very good track record of casting the right actors to play the parts, but they just drop the ball with the villains.
If you go back to Iron Man 2,
they just don't know how to write them.
Mickey Rourke was great up until that halfway point of the movie where he just 100%. Disappeared.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's just bailed.
Like, it did not. It did not
get out because now we got a story. We got a world build here now.
For sure, it did not get any better in that movie from after he was walking down the track, like whipping the whips. Yeah. It was like, oh, like I am sold. I'm in, and then.
Because the final scene was like basically robots versus robots.
Where's his pigeon?
And it was like 3 minutes. He shows up. They like hand blast, like air high five each other and take him out, and then he blows himself up.
That's it.
Yeah. His plan was also, I'm like, I don't understand how he like got a ticket, got a job at the fucking Formula One, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then was able to get out onto the track, have nobody hit him, cars going,
100%.
It's like all of this, and like so many things have to
they are the best race car drivers in the world. This is Monaco.
Why did his boss not tell him, hey, you got to lose the toothpick? It's a safety protocol, right? Like Wemyss would not be on board with this. If you got to lose a toothpick, no, probably just whipped his head off.
Yeah.
But maybe that was. So we know that Iron Man, the first Iron Man, they didn't really know what they were doing. They were writing the script as they were filming the movie, sort of thing, and just hoping and praying that they would be able to form into the larger universe, which it did. So I'm curious if the second Iron Man still had remnants of it, Marvel not really knowing what they wanted from the story or the direction.
My understanding, and I only based on internet chatter, is that it was kind of we're going to do it the same way we did the first time, and then Marvel's like, oh, this made money. Let's start expanding, and then they started to get too hands-on, which is why Favreau didn't do the third one.
So it was during the second one that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Marvel getting too hands-on? Marvel started getting too hands-on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, eh?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Marvel.
No.
But that's why it's just like he's sick, he's dying, and then, here's this shot that will take the edge off, and now you can, discover this new element to save your life, but we somehow still cured you in the interim.
Yeah.
Having said that, Justin Hammer, I feel was a an underutilized villain.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sam Rockwell's an amazing actor to begin with. So they could have.
But he ended up being like branded as comic relief most of the time. But like he should have been a very good. I mean, he was a good villain. He just.
Yeah.
I hope they're bringing back for Armor Wars.
They should, for sure.
Like he's underutilized. The whole AIM is like basically got obliterated with Iron Man 3. And now that MODOK's in Quantum, he's not part of AIM. They did so much world building and then also just skirted it quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this exists, but now we're done with it.
Yeah, like the thing with world building is eventually you have to come back and live in that world. You can't just keep building and building and building like different parts of the world and of the universe and then like just have it be that, right? Like that's what phase 1 did so well, was that they built up a few different things and then brought it together. Built up a few more, brought it together. Built up a few more, brought it together.
Some of the stuff just seems like they went fan service and just forgot about it. Like, I can't believe we're 30 movies in and a handful of TV shows, and we've got more appearances from Damage Control than AIM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
And then, like, Damage Control was essentially the villain in Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So, like...
But nothing ever really came of it.
No.
So it's just, like, they were just there. As a
same with
a thing to just say, oh yeah, we're
No Way Home. They had like
DOD, we're DODC. We're here. We're a thing in this universe.
Hey,
hey guys.
Like, should we do anything with this? Nah. Let's go. Let's move on to the next thing.
The Wrecking Crew tease and She-Hulk.
Oh, that was the worst.
Yeah,
like that was the worst. And I think for me when that happened, it was just more of like it's been a while since we had a reveal, and it was like the Wrecking Crew. They are a list of B characters, but still they are well enough known that they could have been used properly. But the flip was just so awful.
It seems like they're like you said, Corey, they're doing a lot of that, just like the fan service for the small group of people that will recognize it to get them excited, but then they really pander to the other 98% of MCU watchers, and that's the people that don't really know about it, and they're just watching comic book. Like, they're watching the main story. They're not looking for license plates that say Amazing Spider-Man whatever, and they're not looking
that's
for...
what I was gonna say. Would we rather have somebody walk up with an AIM shirt or say that they work for AIM, or have us trying to read file folders on a computer,
exactly,
in X2 looking for mutant names?
Yeah. So obviously they have to do when in terms of them making $1 billion per movie, they have to focus on that 98% of movie watchers.
Yeah.
Whereas originally in phase 1, like with Iron Man and Captain America, Thor, all like for those ones, they had to bring in the comic book viewers to watch those ones. And once everyone got into it, they had to focus on the non comic book people, right? That's why, I'm sure that's why MCU movies have just gotten worse and worse for people who actually like comic books and know the characters and know the story arcs, because it's really like when you do the book to movie situation, you're like, well, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, because most of the people going to see these movies haven't read the comic books. So it doesn't matter how it happened in the comic books. What matters is them like getting their one-liner in, or them getting that great action shot, or getting, that whatever romantic scene that they need to toss in every once in a while, because that's what the majority of viewers
kiss is gross.
Yes.
And then you have instances like with Black Widow where they make a new character, Taskmaster, or in this case with Quantumania, Darren Cross is not. MODOK is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just easier because it's more relevant to the plot.
Yeah, and they've positioned it in a way that it makes sense to use him, because if they're it's a callback to the first one.
We don't want things making sense. We want comic accuracy.
Yeah. I want it to be like issues 100 through 110 of Peter David's run.
Yeah. All right. Before we talk more about movies, Steve, I could not stop thinking about this commercial the other day, and I had to rewatch it. You will know exactly what it is the moment it starts. Every day I miss Phil Hartman.
Oh man, what was that? So good.
Like, that sounds delicious. Colon blow.
9. We'll give you one
Not
more
even
guess.
kind of close.
30,000.
He's getting frustrated. Like 8. Okay, one more. 9 bowls.
Yeah.
So news radio is probably the one show that like I discovered on my own, just through watching, and obviously Phil Hartman was on it. So I would say at that point I hadn't experienced like loss or death in my family. That was the first one that really hit me.
Hit you, yeah.
Because this is a show that I watch that like nobody else that I know watches, and then like usually like, when characters get killed off, like, oh, this guy's just not on the show anymore. He's over here doing this, whatever. Like, but he was gone. This character's gone. You're like that episode where they're like references his passing, like to see like them trying to get through it itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the first one that, and I like it still bothers me to think of just how he went, like, because like we all watched The Simpsons. Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz were like anchors on that program.
I didn't watch news radio. How many seasons was he on the show before he passed?
I think it went 6 seasons. I think it was in the 4th season when.
Oh, so he had been on it for.
Yeah, he was like a staple.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Bill McNeil.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I it's funny. I think of we watch. Oh my goodness! It's the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. We watch it every year.
The goat.
And I think about Phil Hartman and like Gone Too Soon kind of thing, right?
There's so like I think I've said this before. Like the scene when like he has the wife go take a shower and he's gonna watch the kids for her, and then Arnold calls on the phone and asks where she is. He's like, I think she's in the shower. Do you want me to go check? Like he's just like the prospect of them saying, yeah, go do it, and it's just lights up, and like it's just spot on, perfect delivery of that line.
I'm making cookies. Oh, so good.
I gotta get the recipe. Put my cookies down. Yeah. Raise your mother, next door, Pet and Ted.
I tell you, SNL though, like classics back in the day, like just there were so many.
To me, that's skits. Like the late '80s into the early to mid '90s. For me, it's probably because of my age. It was the pinnacle. Time, like Phil, Dana, Mike Myers, Adam, David Spade, Chris Farley, Dennis Miller, Al Franken. Not to leave the women off.
So many.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Well, they're good too. Before Victoria Justice
and the rest.
And the rest.
It was like late 80s to the mid 90s, as you said. And then I would say like in the early aughts, that's when it picked up again with like Sherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell. And then Jason Sudeikis came in, and just kind of, and I feel like right now, because Jade and I, we watch it every year. We don't miss an episode. They're kind of in that transitional phase right now. Beck Bennett left last year, and there's a few that left last year that were staples for a number of years, and so they're kind of going through that. They're rediscovering their talent, I guess, this year. Some episodes are just like, ugh, like
they're like getting that younger talent.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of some of the big names that were on there too.
Oh,
like Robert Downey Jr. for what, a couple, was it at least a season?
Yeah, like I think it was like a 3/4 of a season. Yeah, we'll call it a season.
Even Anthony Michael Hall was on there. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid.
And then the daughter of what was his name?
Oh, even Julia Louis-Dreyfus was on there too.
Yeah,
She
earlier
was?
on. Yeah, before
Time, yeah.
Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Before
As
Seinfeld.
like as a regular?
Yeah. She was
Really?
a cast member. Not a featured player. Legit cast member.
Actually,
I can't.
Oh, that was gonna be good too.
3.
Yeah, I'm like,
3 game name.
that looked sounded like it was gonna be real good.
Whoever's doing the Donald Trump impersonation, I can't remember his name, David Michael Johnson or something or other. Spot on. We'll have to try and.
You mean better than Baldwin?
He makes Baldwin look like a side trick pony. It's
I always thought his impression was a side trick pony.
Yeah.
Well, no, yes.
It's
fair
like, there's
enough.
no way he was trying to be like a real.
Yeah, he's just collecting his paycheck.
Yeah.
I'll have to find a clip to send you guys.
All right, so you wanted to, Steven, take a look at movies
I immediately regret this decision.
Because you couldn't think of one?
No, I got one.
So might be a little difficult for you. We have 22 releases. It's the only thing I could find, but we're looking at the 23 calendar of movies coming out, and which ones you thought would be the most good. No, the ones you're most forward to this coming year. And you said you had the goodest. So you have 3 picked out, and some honorable mentions.
Yeah, no, So I have like the one, and it was very difficult to. I think what we should do, and I'm just going to name off some. Like,
okay,
I was reading through the list, and I was thinking, number one, this might be the biggest box office year for Hollywood since maybe 2008. In 2008, Iron Man, Dark Knight. I can pull it up, but there's a few. Might be the biggest year because I was going through this list,
or
just
general
like
hype,
intellectual property, sequels, remakes. There may be movies here that don't make a lot of money at the box office, but will draw in the fans that they have from their little pocket. And I don't know if this is because of the last 2 years. Like, as an example, like Ant-Man Quantumania was supposed to come out last year, coming out this year. Same thing with the new Mission Impossible. Like, it's broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 was supposed to come out in 2022. It's coming out this year, and part 2 is coming out in 2024. So because of that, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 should have come out last year. Anyway, a lot
of them. Like, I'm thinking, looking at
all that to say, like, it's starting to condense
Spider-Man.
into this almost nuclear opportunity for some really good movies to come out. So I wrote down a number that so obviously, I mean, we talked about it. Creed, the third one. The first 2 were amazing. And this is Michael B. Jordan's first attempt at directing a movie too. So, I mean, who knows how that is. Adam Driver starring in this film called 65. Which looks like friggin' amazing.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah, just and honestly, like, it's surprising that this concept hasn't been done before. Because you would think, like, he thinks he's in a distant planet, but then he ends up being 65 million years in the past.
Well, they have
it's
kind of
Reverse
done it.
Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say they did
Fair
it with
enough.
apes.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Fair enough.
This go that far, but actually no. So if they went into the future though for the apes, even though the apes live in what seems like a prehistoric time, right? Because
I thought the apes were on a different world altogether.
Have you not seen Planet of the Apes?
It was Earth all along.
You blew it up.
Was it Earth
Damn
all
you!
Damn you! Okay. Yeah, like it was a. It was a.
Don't make us sing the song.
No, I am making you sing the song.
It was wrong. No, it was like they left Earth. They flew around for a while, ended up crash landing on a planet, and it was
a not too distant planet.
Yeah, it was Earth again, but there was like an extinction level thing that had happened, and now they were at the point in the re-evolution of man that they were in the like ape man stage.
Okay, well, I
But this one, I mean, it's a similar idea, but it's not really. Right?
Remember, like
they're going back.
The Heston one, same thing, but like it's
Nope.
What happened was, I think in that regard or that timeline, because I think they have all connected now, both franchises.
There's this with disease. The Franco one too?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? Okay.
Well, I don't know. We'll just for the argument of continuing. Yeah, in a second. There was a disease that went out and killed all pets. So then apes became domesticated, which then helped their evolution along. And then there was an uprising, and they took over. The Franco one, it was this
disease that killed humans, right?
Well, it was it
was they were basically using this Alzheimer's drug. They're testing it on chimps that increased their intelligence. Someone was working on an ape. The drug got out. Guy got sick, spread it along. Everybody got sick except for apes.
Yeah.
So that took
Caesar.
Right.
Okay, so continuing, we got for those that like
65. That's where we left off.
65. We got Scream 6, which those that like the best part of Scream was when they were getting high and what's up? It was so good.
That was in Scary Movie.
Oh right.
Yeah, that was not in actual Scream.
The best part of Scream was the spoof about Scream.
Oh, I thought I thought this was the spoof. Okay, sorry, my bad. Moving on, we'll just skip that. The second Shazam, Fury of the Gods, following up from a really good, what I thought was a good Shazam movie.
The best DC movie so far.
100%. Chapter 4
movie is a Marvel movie.
Chapter 4 for John Wick.
Yes.
Which, yes.
Just stop your list there. That's all that matters.
Dungeons and Dragons for those that I mean, I think I'm kind of interested. I wasn't a D&D player when I was growing up.
Shouldn't the movie, if it's going to be accurate, be people sitting around a table with sheets of paper and dice?
Well, yeah. Didn't they do
anything
that
else is
Stranger
not really
Things?
Dungeons and Dragons, right? It's just like kind of in name only.
Yeah, I just hope it's not like Warcraft.
It should be.
Movie.
Now, here's my pitch of Dungeons and Dragons. Take the concept of the Lego movie, and that's this movie. So, like that episode of Community.
Yeah,
like they're sitting around playing the game, and then like a Princess Bride. You're cutting to what is going on with the game.
Yeah,
this is not going to be that.
No. Well, I mean, there was already a Dungeons and Dragons movie in the 90s. I think
Wayans was in it.
Yeah, and it's probably just going to be a similar situation,
just with
updated CG. With I'm assuming worse CG.
So this is, I feel like
Sony.
Yeah.
So we've had like these movies that I've been listing have been in chronological order, and we're getting into May now, which I think is really where the bulk of
it's movie time,
the movie time, where the bulk of the success will come. So it starts off with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then May 19th, just after that, what should have been called Fasten Your Seatbelts is just Fast X.
I don't want to see it because of that.
100%. Little Mermaid, for those that, it'll hit that demographic, young kids, young girls, whatnot. I'm sure it'll make a ton of movie.
Is there any way that there is not going to be massive complaints about this movie?
But
there's already. I think they'll
not even about race, just that this isn't as good. The songs aren't as good.
I don't know.
Who is this?
Do you think it'll be? Think it'll be worse than the Aladdin one? Like,
actually, I still haven't seen the Aladdin one.
Yeah,
but I think there's a difference. So you're taking like Aladdin, which was like, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of like lightning with the bottle, thanks to Robin Williams, and then trying to redo that with Will Smith. Which, by the way, keep his fucking wife's name at your fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's so good. The third point to success.
But it's
the same with like Beauty and the Beast, right? Like all of those remakes we're in that demographic that it's absolutely like, no matter how good it is, it's gonna suck, right? Like compared to, hashtag not my Aladdin, the Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, There was another one, Jungle Book, and Little Mermaid.
Jungle Book was good.
I liked Jungle Book because they were actually, it was just the weird like animals, you know, like I don't know, like when they were talking, I'm like, this is not, I don't know, it's better. It's better in cartoon form.
So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But I was just gonna say, like, all of those movies, all of those remakes are nowhere near as good as our cartoon versions.
Yeah, the OG.
Right?
Yeah,
as we say,
but like they're not made for
someone. There's someone's first
exactly
experience.
Like this is going to be someone's Little Mermaid going forward. They're not going to have, maybe not going to have seen the cartoon version. And I think, yeah, Corey and I, we've talked about like Beauty and the Beast, how people are like, that's the first time their kids have seen Beauty and the Beast, and that's their version of it, but it's not ours. So it's
like Star Wars, The Force Awakens, right? It's someone's first Star Wars, even though it's a complete ripoff of the original.
Yeah.
And
but like I don't know how many.
Everybody's last Star Wars movie.
I don't know how many people. I don't know for how many people that was their first Star Wars movie, though. I would say if
Grandpa's taken like their 7-year-old.
If Grandpa's taking their 7-year-old, I'm sure that they've already seen. Grandpa has already shown them at least 4, 5, and 6.
No, you're not watching any of these. You see this,
right?
Maybe that's a good point. That's a good point.
Something like Little Mermaid, because it's not like a continuation or anything. Like this might be a thing where, mom and dad or grandma or grandpa tried to get them to watch the Little Mermaid cartoon, and the kids weren't into it, and then they went to see this movie. So, I think it would be a bit of a different situation. Like I just think that not nobody. There's lots of people that The Force Awakens was their first Star Wars movie, but that's a small minority of the people that actually saw the movie.
You know what it would be? It'd be the girl who had no interest being dragged to it by their boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, everyone's favorite Tony Award winner, Lin-Manuel Miranda, is co-writing the songs for Little Mermaid. So
yeah,
if there is some backlash, maybe this might be a top 40 hit that stays on the radio.
I don't know, man.
Helps propel that movie.
But is he? Are they writing new songs for it then?
Of course, they got it dragged into like a 2-hour movie, right?
Yeah.
How long was the cartoon? It was like an hour.
Usually
40 something.
Oh no, shorter than that.
Really?
This was pre. There are 2 points in movies. There's pre 2 hours.
Like Dumbo is like
2 hours.
Barely over an hour. The first Toy Story is like an hour 5.
Like
the dream.
To the point.
Yeah,
to the point.
Well,
my bladder's not going to explode when you watch those movies.
But I mean, those were also, they had to be short because they were being hand drawn.
That's true.
That's like fucking cramp. Wrap it up.
God, can we just end it?
Start to finish with credits. The Little Mermaid's an hour 23.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's what, like 6 songs?
Well, I guess back then too, you had to make sure you held the attention of the kids. If it went on like 2, we're going to show these kids a 3-hour movie, it would not work. It would not work. Anyway, moving on into June,
the next one.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
This is my vote for like the movie that I'm most excited for.
Okay.
You're so excited that you're at the point where you could easily be let down.
That's
how hyped you are.
Probably will be let down. Just
there's just too many Spider-Man in this movie.
No, I'm just Into the Spider-Verse is I will watch that movie.
That's a perfect movie.
Yeah, I will watch that movie on repeat, and I wouldn't even complain about it.
So good.
The animation, the music, like everything was spot
on.
The
filmography, like how they filmed it, right?
Exactly, and like the variable frame rates and all this kind of stuff. Like just they did it so perfectly, and then that one scene where he's like falling upwards, like that one like freeze frame. I think it's been a wallpaper for.
I think it's everybody's wallpaper.
It's such a great.
That was Parker's wallpaper on his iPad.
You know what they did too? Like they did it in such a tasteful way in terms of cameos and introductions of different characters, and they they weren't doing it just for the clickbaits and just for the the fan service. They were doing it as part of the story, but they did it in such a seamless way where if it was part of the story, and talking about Gwen and Spider Noir and how they came to be and whatnot. It was just so tasteful.
Yeah,
it really was. It was,
and just the comic booky aesthetic of it, like having the like pows and like speech bubbles and thought bubbles and all those kind of things like that. It was just such a great way to like portray him thinking about something or like exclaiming like, "Oh, I can't believe that happened." But instead of just, or having like the little yellow box in the corner that says "Meanwhile," like that's amazing. It's such a small detail, but like when you read comic books, like you catch that and you're like, that's amazing.
Well, and you know what, they brought on Brian Michael Bendis as a consultant, and he's who created Miles Morales, and he wrote Spider-Man for years and years and years when he was at Marvel. But that was his writing style. He was very like, it wasn't it wasn't like sucked in reality, and there was like a lot of meanwhiles and pows and like inner dialogues and communications, and sometimes he had panels written of just a conversation, like mindless stuff that they were talking about, and I felt that was translated over to the film.
I would have one complaint about that movie.
No, absolutely not.
Nope. Just quit right there. Just end the podcast.
Is that this is the introduction to Miles Morales. Like, they didn't get a live action introduction, but I'm glad that if this is what his franchise is, it's this franchise.
This and the video games.
Even if this is his franchise, it's phenomenal because you can have like 5, 7, 10. There's no limit to the films you can have because you're not chained down by like, he's going to be too aged out, and I don't want this guy and I want this guy, and like
because they already got an adult doing the voice. So
exactly.
Man, I love web swinging in that Miles game.
Oh, so good.
I don't even like progressing the story. I'll just web swing as Miles and doing like flips and shit.
Daddy, you've jumped off Avengers Tower like 10 times in a row now. Can we just keep...
And I'm gonna keep jumping off Avengers Tower. Look at the point. Look at the style points I'm getting.
Right after that, on June 9th, the new Transformers movie, Rise of the Beast, which takes place in the 90s, is out.
Did you guys watch Beast Wars?
I did watch Beast Wars. I did.
Yeah, I didn't. It was kind of on like the tail end of my adolescence, I guess.
Right up there with Reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around the same time. Right?
Same animation style.
Yeah.
Nothing in the background, just one character running.
I never got into Reboot, but Beast Wars I was pretty into.
Yeah, it'll be is Michael Bay? Oh, it's not even Michael Bay. It's Andy Muschietti.
Thank God.
Michael Keaton's in it.
No, voice.
No, sorry. I scrolled up.
I'm like, wait, what are you?
I was talking about the next movie.
Okay.
Movie. My fingers scrolled up too quickly. Yeah, it takes place in the 90s, so it'd be good. It's your typical action.
The soundtrack should be good.
Do we know where? Yeah, Michael.
I didn't watch Bumblebee.
Where?
Here's the only issue. I should say only issue, but here's the problem I have from what I've seen from Bumblebee and this one is the explanation as to why it's shown that these Autobots and Decepticons are coming down to Earth in the Shia movie, but these movies all predate those and they're already here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all supposed to be tied together.
Like one universe. I never thought about that.
Isn't it just oh yeah, I guess people know about it in this movie.
Yeah,
weren't some of them dormant though?
Or is it just going to be?
Unless there's a crossover with the MIB that erases everybody's minds, it doesn't make sense.
Look at the light. That's a good point.
Revisit Beast Wars. It's on Tubi.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
At least it's free.
Exactly. There's like Beast Beast Wars and then Beast Machines. I think Beast Wars is.
Yeah, you gotta do Beast Wars first.
I don't know what. I don't know what. I don't think I've ever seen Beast Machines, but
it's got like a GoBot knockoff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're still in June. We're just about halfway through the year.
Already broke
These
now.
are all
seriously.
So
can you pull that? Can you pull that list up again, Corey?
Oh yeah.
So right after this is one of the more controversial movies that are coming out in Flash. DC's The Flash.
Not Indiana Jones 5?
That's later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next.
We'll get
That's the next one. But I'm intrigued by this.
Also, I can't believe you skipped over "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret."
Well,
so
see,
it's
because I've read the book.
Oh, okay.
You know it's never going to be as good as the book.
That's right. Exactly.
Sorry.
All
right,
the book.
back to the Flash.
I think I'm just intrigued by it, and maybe I'm also potentially setting myself up for extreme disappointment because of how I feel it could potentially set the next 10 years of the DC universe. And we talked a bit about it last week.
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of excited to see the potential train wreck.
Yeah,
that too.
I was just gonna say I want to see what.
So it's like what's gonna happen. Like, are people gonna boycott? Are people going to not go see it and have it be something that just destroys DC? Not financially. They obviously have unlimited money, but is it like you said, is it going to be a reboot to something good, or is it going to be the end of something bad?
It begs the question, like, has there been a movie in recent memory that has been just like that, where you almost are equally intrigued by the potential train wreck as you are equally intrigued by the potential success that it could have in terms of the storytelling?
I feel like
I can think of
every Phase 4 Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
I think the only thing close to that would be the interview. The whole, is North Korea going to bomb us? Are they going to do anything if this movie comes out?
Okay. Yeah.
And then nothing ever happened. I think this could be the same thing. Are people going to boycott it? Is it actually going to end what DC's doing? I think the movie's going to be fine. It's going to be the teaser at the end is going to dictate what's going to happen.
Right.
Because they cut all the other cameos out.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be, spearheading what the next bit of movies is, but now James Gunn is redoing it all. So,
well, he should be coming out with some news in the next little while on what his plans are.
I cannot see that he's going to continue in that role, even if they continue making movies.
James Gunn?
Flash?
Ezra Miller.
Oh yeah.
I think they just have to.
Absolutely no way. They cannot.
And I think any more press or even Gunn skirting the question is a problem.
I think,
or maybe he's purposely doing that just so that they can get the movie out. And like,
if you just say no, he's not going to be in this going forward.
But maybe
then I think more people will be like, oh, well, let's watch it, see what happens. We know it's going to change.
But maybe he's not lying. Like, yeah, Ezra Miller is going to be the Flash moving forward, but in the movie he dies. So in one reality or in one timeline, he is the Flash, which is the timeline we're not using anymore. So I honestly answered your question.
There's two in that movie.
Yeah. So
he's already got two timelines.
Like, there's absolutely no way they could leave him in there. Just he's a train wreck on his own.
For sure.
And like he has caused himself like irreparable harm to his person. Like there's no
brand.
way that there's no way people are gonna hop on board and be like, we'll give him another shot. Like, at least not in the near future. It's gonna be a while of him like rehabbing and really building back up what he needs to. But I don't know. I don't
Does
see
jail time do that?
I don't see a comeback.
I find when you have celebrities now that don't do any sort of jail time, they tend not to actually do better. Like you need to go away. You need to be gone.
Yeah, in
some way or shape or form.
Yeah, you can't be a halfway gone.
Because like they said, they pled guilty for like a B&E and got a year probation. Yeah. So now that's gone. I have a movie coming out, so now I can Get paid
as
for
you
that.
would for breaking and entering, just like a slap on the wrist.
That's it.
But I was
Come on,
high
guys,
when
it's
I
not that
did
big
it.
of a deal.
Oh, that's fine.
They weren't
Was
even
high.
there.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
a
they
valid
weren't even
excuse.
home.
Yeah,
They
home.
weren't. Just walked in, took some bottles of alcohol, and went along the merry way.
So, do we want to talk about the untitled Marvel movie, or like
Sony
speculate, or do we want to like? Is it going to be? I have no idea what it could be, to be completely honest.
It's probably moved off that date. I don't know how old this list is.
So we'll move ahead to. I don't know how I feel about watching a de-aged Harrison Ford.
All I say is this: if they don't improve the CG from what I've seen in that first trailer, I'm gonna have some serious problems.
Yeah, I feel as though like
look how well they did with She-Hulk.
Hey,
they're like when the trailer came
let's
out,
talk.
like,
Let's
are
talk
you
Morbius.
serious right now?
let's look at Morbius for a second.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh wait, you're the one that watched Morbius?
Yes.
I
didn't say I was proud
hey,
of it.
our theater had like at least 4 people in it.
Oh, that's good.
And that includes the projectionist.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But he went like hit play and then left.
It'll be the first movie that the first indie movie that Spielberg's not directing. So whether that makes it good or not, I mean, an 83-year-old Harrison Ford, 78-year-old, somewhere in that range, might be difficult for an action movie. So we shall see.
Are the Nazis in it?
I don't know.
The Nazis are involved, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, makes for a good story. A good old Nazi.
You can't get enough of those Nazis.
That's right. Yeah.
I think so. They could set it in present day, and it would still be the same story.
Madam Web, is that still on target? I don't know.
I think so. They're well into production.
Haven't seen.
It's Sony. They don't spend money on graphics. Did you hear us talk about Morbius?
Yeah, for sure. But you would think that they would be having a little bit of press. Anyway, let's skip over that to what I am most excited about for this year.
Oppenheimer. Barbie.
No,
Barbie for sure.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. I mean, listen, if you have an actor in the film who's over 60 years old, who's literally driving a motorcycle off of a cliff 7 times in one day, or hanging off of the helicopter,
you'll shell your 2 bits and go see that movie.
I will 100% do that. And was it Chris McQuarrie is the screenwriter for this? He also screenwrote almost basically every movie that Tom Cruise has been in. And I can separate Tom Cruise from the person as I can from the actor. As the actor, he's unbelievable. And this whole franchise, with the exception of John Woo's second one, is amazing.
I was just gonna say, other than John
number 2,
other than John Wick, I think that this is one of the few movie series that has gotten better as it's gone on. Right, like every new Mission Impossible, I'm like, oh man, like they've already done everything, But then it gets better.
Well, to your point, him hanging off of the plane was a perfect example of like, oh no, you know what? They can't do anything more. And he's in Abu Dhabi hanging off of the tall, like, oh my god.
When he's like suction cupping.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like how?
Yeah,
I don't even understand.
Seeing that in IMAX was insane.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
You felt it in your gut.
So in Tom Cruise has played this character 27 years now, which we just talked about Harrison Ford playing Indy since almost 40 years now, when the first Indy movie came out.
Except there's a huge gap, right?
There's a huge gap. Yeah.
Whereas this Tom Cruise has been doing this consistently, every 5 or 6 years.
And even if you're not,
they were gonna fire him.
Yeah.
Even if you're not Jeremy Renner.
Even if you're not into spy movies, it's so hard not to get into these kind of movies that he's doing with Mission Impossible. Yeah. They're just so well written. The stunts are amazing. Like everything about those movies are perfect. And Jade and I recently did a whole run, all MI run, probably about a year ago. Fought through the second one, and she is not into these movies at all. Like she doesn't really care about. But by the end of it, she was like, "This is absolutely amazing! Like my favorite franchise." So
It's a really hard one to not like.
The second movie, but the first scene with the rock climbing is still pretty bang on Tom Cruise.
But I'm sorry, but when you lost me at the very end when they were
when
running
you
at the motorcycles,
the movie,
it's
like it's not good.
Oh, but they were riding the motorcycles at the end, and just like they jump off, and they like, come on.
I thought you were going to say the Limp Bizkit cover or the theme.
That might have been one of them too.
You had me until that happened, and then the rest of the movie I was out.
Yeah. Okay, Oppenheimer would be the next one.
I'm pretty excited for that one.
Almost an immediate Oscar Best Picture nominee for sure.
I read that they were able to recreate the bomb, but without using the nuclear energy in it. So Nolan's at it again.
The biggest question is, we will love this Christopher Nolan movie, but will we be able to understand it?
Exactly. Absolutely not.
No, we will just have to trust that it's going to be a good movie. But no, it's supposed to be up there.
Yeah, like this is a movie I'm gonna see it in theaters, and it's gonna be great. And then as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna watch it with subtitles and be like, oh, okay. Got it.
Now I don't know if this was so great.
Yeah. Just absolutely.
That's what they said.
Oh, okay. It makes more sense now.
Adam Bomb, not Adam Bill. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, perfect sense, yeah. But no, definitely early front runner for what does it say here? The who's in it? Robert Downey Jr. is in it, Rami Malek, Josh Hartnett, Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt. Like, so there's a huge list of stars
pretty, like,
that are in
all-star
there.
cast there.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on then, the Marvels. I don't know much about the movie. I mean, I think it's just another Marvel movie.
Do you think that's going to be one where if you didn't watch Ms. Marvel, that it's not going to be as good?
I think so.
Well, I don't think so.
Right?
No?
Like it's just like that last scene in Ms. Marvel when
I don't think they're going to touch on that at all in the movies. I mean, because Miss Marvel, like Captain Marvel, has nothing to do with mutants, and so I feel like it would be a misfire to take that last scene from Miss Marvel, how she's a mutant and whatnot, and expand on it in the Marvels. I think this is just going to be a cosmic. It has to be a cosmic movie. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know anything about the Marvels, so it's like,
I feel as though if you have to watch Miss Marvel for this, you would have to watch WandaVision for Monica Rambeau to explain her why she's got powers now.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point.
Probably more important to watch that.
What do we have next? It says here Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I skipped over that. Is this what year is this from? Is it
it's Seth Rogen produced
oh TMNT. Right. Yeah, okay. So is it animated?
Yep.
Okay. Barbie. What about Barbie? Great. IP for those that want to watch Barbie.
That trailer, I don't know. Or teaser, I should say. Trying to figure it out, like, what exactly are we looking at here?
Talk about controversy. Like, I feel this movie is going to be one that draws a lot of activists out of the...
I feel as though they could spin it if they are making fun of the tropes.
Yeah.
Will they, though?
No.
People are still going to complain. They're obviously
it's Margot Robbie. Like, she's going to embrace the.
I read a thing that they were very embarrassed filming the movie. Like both her and Ryan Gosling were very embarrassed being out in public. Like I don't know if it was just I don't know about like wearing what they had to wear and stuff, but like just being Barbie and Ken. They were like, it was embarrassing having people see this.
I don't know. How invested are you in the project, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even how invested. It's like how invested are you in getting like the truckloads of money that they're backing up to your door?
Well, I get that too, but like you sign on for a project, you have to believe in it a little bit. Yeah, like if you're embarrassed by what you're doing in this movie, then obviously maybe you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. But I think that was a yeah. I mean, obviously, it was after they signed up for it,
and
then they were like, "Oh, this is what we're doing."
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it does look like the Aqua fucking music video from
exactly
1999.
Let's go, Barbie. Come on, Barbie. So the next one, I think doesn't have a release date confirmed, but what I have, it's July of next year, and it's Scorsese's Roosevelt. So for those that are interested in, it might be one that could interest you. I think I would be interested in it. Again, it's Scorsese and DiCaprio partnering together, so potential Oscar nomination between those two. But I don't know if it's yet confirmed. But I saw that it was July 14th, but I'm not seeing it here on the list. So maybe they realized
must not be because of Mission Impossible.
Like,
yeah.
Why
would you want to go up against Mission Impossible?
Yeah, we'll wait. World history or spy games? Yeah. We'll decide to wait. Blue Beetle. Again, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Like, where's
who that is? What that is?
So it's what would be the best way to explain Blue Beetle? He
got a suit that's kind of sentient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only other character I can think of would be Firestorm, where you have the one character in your head, but that doesn't help you either because you probably don't know who Firestorm is.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
what is a Marvel equivalent that we've seen?
Well, I guess it would almost kind of be like Iron Man's suit in Friday. So Friday is,
okay. The suit, like Gavin Jarvis are talking.
Like maybe something like that.
But it's an alien suit.
But it's an alien suit. That's right.
So like Venom.
So maybe Green.
Kinda, but also it's also more like Green Lantern because like you're chosen by the Blue Beetle.
Okay.
To be the next Blue Beetle.
Got it.
So it's basically
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yeah,
but blue.
WDW.
It begs the question: like, is this just is this just a waste of 120 minutes given what's going to happen with James Gunn and his announcements?
Like if it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Like as in, like, is it for sure getting made or?
No, it's coming out. It's coming out. Yeah, like it's canned and
they're going with that one. They didn't scrap that.
They decided to scrap so many other like DC movies, but not that one.
Not the Blue Beetle.
No, because everybody's clamoring for a Blue Beetle movie. Ted Kord. I mean, come on. I don't think it's Ted Kord even. What's next? Kraven the Hunter? Do we want to?
I don't know.
A Quiet Place Day One?
What's that one? That one I haven't heard of. Is it
it's a prequel? Yeah.
Or
no, Krasinski's not directing.
Okay, but like, is it actually prequel or is it? I guess prequel /
Well,
happening,
one, right?
Obviously, happening in between.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh,
Michelle, you've seen both of them, right?
I've seen both of them.
I'm not.
Okay, so
I don't like scary movies. I guess it would be
during the first half of the second one.
Okay,
because that's like when it all starts, right? So
I
guess it's like a midquel.
It's not. McCoy,
is it a horror movie?
It's not scary. I mean, it is, but it's.
I will say this: watch the first one, and if you were not sold by the very first fucking scene of that movie, then
don't watch the rest.
Yeah,
turn it off.
Don't watch it. But
okay.
I was on board right when that fucking thing happened.
For me, it's when people when you're watching a movie and they go underwater and you hold your breath, or if they're if they're taking a huge leap off of a building, you kind of tense up with this movie, I was holding my breath, trying not to make noise. Just the whole time.
Going with the movie.
Going with the movie. And it felt like, because there's so many parts in the movie where there's just no noise at all. It's actually, quiet. And it's you don't want to make noise. Yeah, even though you're not in the movie.
So would you hear would you hear noise of them walking on the grass or walking on a wooden a floor or whatnot?
Sometimes,
or is it
but usually when they did that, it would trigger.
Yeah, like if you heard like a
an
little
event.
creak on the floor, like the whole place would be like,
yeah,
because that's the whole point. You're not.
It's one of those things, and especially like seeing it in the theater, like you could. There's definite
It's an experience.
times, yeah, like there's definite times where like people are eating popcorn and then something happens and you just hear nobody chewing anymore because you're like everyone's just like shit. Like I don't want to make noise.
If it wasn't for the jump scares, it is like the perfect movie to watch at night when your like significant other's asleep next to you, because there's no noise throughout 90% of the movie.
It's absolutely like Corey said. If it's worth watching the first one, and you'll know very early on whether you're into it or not.
Yeah.
And then you can just decide if you want to keep watching. But it's definitely worth trying out.
It's like a silent movie for the new millennium.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's crazy. It's crazy how many times in that movie where I'm just like.
Yeah, just clench your butt.
Just don't make noise. Like it's tense when you're watching.
Is it streaming on any platform?
Prime, I want to say.
I hope so.
Hey, that's a problem. Like, I think it's also a Sony movie, so their shit's just spread everywhere.
Yeah,
but I think most of their stuff now is on Prime. We had this conversation in the last podcast.
Exactly.
All right, so next up, I had Kraven the Hunter, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Sony.
I think he's rumored to be the next Bond.
Yeah,
stop giving this guy franchise.
What is that about?
It's
he was kick-ass. That's enough.
Yeah, we're good.
He's got a pretty wide range though. Like
he does. Yes,
like,
I will give him that.
And,
so, A Quiet Place is on Netflix and Prime, and then A Quiet Place 2 is only on Netflix.
Okay.
So I guess you're watching it on Netflix.
But definitely give the first one a shot.
Yeah, I'll have to.
After you watch Bullet Train.
Bullet Train.
That's the one you got to watch from last week.
I was supposed to give my book report, but that'll have to wait till next week. So, yeah. So I guess the Kraven the Hunter is supposed to take place within the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man verse or Spider-Verse.
That has to give him a third movie.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
He's the only one that seemed like he had fun doing it.
So I don't know much about Kraven the Hunter, but how are they doing that movie? Is that going to be like a Venom style movie?
So Kraven the Hunter,
I mean, we've talked about it before. How like
Venom
Venom is only good, not only good, but like Venom is best as Spider-Man's villain, right?
Because his origin is tied.
Yeah,
Kraven's isn't.
It's but like tied to Spider-Man.
Yeah, but Venom's is not sure. But Kraven you can do without Spider-Man. You just lead it into Spider-Man.
But isn't he a bad guy?
He's a big game hunter, right?
Yeah, he's a big game hunter. So it works out well because I think it might have been was it the second one with Jamie Foxx and Electro when Spider-Man had the fireman hat on and he's in front of the cameras and whatnot after he'd saved everyone at Times Square. I think was the second one.
Yes.
So if they were to drop Kraven in at that moment of that franchise, then he's the big game hunter. Okay, this guy is, he's Spider-Man. He's all over the TV. He's popular. He's famous. He's, well exposed. I'm going to hunt him. So there's way.
But then isn't that a Spider-Man movie where Kraven is the villain?
Yeah, but you got to keep his origin stories, right? Because he's also super powered too.
Yeah.
But then that's just what I mean. It's like, what do we get out of a movie? Like, what do we see in a movie where it's only the bad guy, like, and his origin?
You don't.
Because there has,
and I've said this from the jump. Like, these movies make no sense. You're turning the villain into a hero to play out 90 minutes to have
turn him into a villain again.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the thing is, I'm like, the same thing with Venom was like, all right, like you watch Venom, but you're like, I know that he's the bad guy. So, like, it's just bad guy versus worst guy. Okay. You're still a bad guy.
Bad guy versus worst guy. I love
That's why they've been sticking with symbiotes as the villains.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's it, right? But like it.
Venom's no longer a bad guy in the comic books, though.
Yeah, but you have to go
has he
his-
crossed over?
He's like an anti-hero. He's like Punisher.
Is he still Flash Thompson?
Yeah, he's back to being
Yeah,
Flash
that's why.
Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, though. Like, I mean, how can you have a villain movie on its own?
Yeah, that was
Well, they
the
wanted to
even
finish
when
the
the first
six
Venom movie was coming out, we were like, how do you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man?
And I think that's the problem with these movies like Venom or Kraven the Hunter or whatnot. It's if you don't have a clear path or vision on what your next 5 or 10 years look like as a production company or as a movie studio, how are you expecting us to buy into this movie without knowing, okay, like the reason why you're showing Kraven the Hunter is because, you know, we're going to be doing a Sinister Six.
Exactly.
But we don't know you're doing a Sinister Six, so we're going to be, you know, wasting our time watching the movie. So,
well, that's the other thing too. You're going to do a Sinister Six with which version of Spider-Man? Tom Holland? Are you going to bring back Garfield? Or now we know they're all encompassing in the MCU, so it could theoretically be Toby.
Yeah, let's do it. Bring back Toby.
Just like throw everything under the
but like that's you're right. Like that's the
put
thing
it into a blender, turn it on, see what comes out.
Having villain origin like it's you know, you could make endless Spider-Man movies and you know each one is a new villain, right?
Yes,
but they have to be Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
With this is the new thing I have to beat. This is the new person I have to fight. This is the new problem. But like just villain movies doesn't make sense because like every movie has to have I mean, I guess not. Maybe there's a new way to do movies, but like every movie so far is, you know, there's a person, there's a problem, person solves the problem. And when the person is the problem, then where does that movie go? Right? It just this person's the problem the whole way, open-ended ending. Another movie, this person's the problem the whole way, open-ended. You know, 5 more movies, and then boom, here's the Sinister Six. But then you still have to have, you know, Spider-Man in there to be like,
oh yeah, we forgot the Spider-Man.
Oh crap, we forgot the good guy. Then you just have Suicide Squad.
Like, who are they gonna fight?
Yeah,
but even that, the Suicide Squad, they turned out to be the good guys. At least the James Gunn one.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. I'm like so hurt just by the original Suicide.
Was James Gunn? Is that the one with
the second
Suicide
Suicide Squad is Guardians with swearing. Is how I took it.
Okay. There's a lot. Yeah.
Because King Shark is just Groot.
Yeah.
What do we have here? November sees the part 2 for Dune.
Excited for that.
That should be a good one. Wonka.
Wait, that's also Timothée Chalamet, right?
Yeah.
That guy is like raking it in.
And Zendaya and Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh no, I mean Wonka has.
They both do.
Yeah. Oh, they both have.
They both do.
And Zendaya.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, Timothée Chalamet. Yeah.
Hunger Games. Is Hunger Games on here?
Yeah, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of them.
Same here.
So I've like read the Hunger Games books, and I've seen the movies, and you know, as usual, the books are better. But what's this new one?
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Is that a new book?
It's
I believe so.
Has that book
like predates all of
it's
like the stories of the
it's like a games. Prequel.
It's a prequel it's like based on the novel of the same name by Suzanne Collins.
Oh, okay.
The story primarily follows young Coriolanus, and his.
That's actually my first full name.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Cory, how'd they get your name on that one?
Coriolanus, that's me.
And his involvement in the Hunger Games as a game-changing mentor years before the events of the original series.
Stop going right because people can't pronounce it properly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cory on this one.
I'm gonna stick with Cory.
Yeah, it's just easier.
Wonka? That should be good. I mean, we know this.
I'll just watch Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
There's so many problems with the original Willy Wonka.
No, it's perfect.
The perfect movie.
No, we should dedicate a whole episode to do a review of that movie. Sentimentally, I love the movie, but it's just there's a lot of holes I could punch through it. The Color Purple.
Wait a minute, you cannot swim in a river of chocolate
Wait a minute.
and survive getting sucked into a tube?
You have been in the same bed, and as soon as you got the chance to go to his factory, you jumped out like a spring chicken.
I'll admit, Grandpa Joe is kind of a dick for just laying around for, I don't know, 20-some years while is that his daughter?
I think it's his mother's father. I think Grandpa Joe is the mother's father.
Yeah, so the mom's, okay. So she's sitting there, washing clothes for a living to put, she got the wash tub out and the board and she's doing all this. Well, yeah, he can easily get up out of his fucking bed.
While the father's mother's clipping Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe's toenails because she's facing him. It's just a whole calamity. And it's in the center. They're in the center of the room. They are the center of attention. There's just it's just terrible.
Do you think at any point while the four of them are sitting there, someone leans over, goes, "Hey, Doris, come on, what?"
Yeah,
it's been a while. Come on. They're sleeping. They won't see nothing.
Yeah, they don't know.
Or they want them to watch. They're old enough. Let's have a party.
At that age, they just don't care anymore. Or how many Dutch ovens were thrown in that?
Yeah, come on.
I got another one. You're not going anywhere. Anyway, we are digressing. We should do that though. We should do a review of that original.
A Wonka watch.
Wonka watch, yeah.
It's Wonka Watch 2023.
And I'll go live to our man on the field.
The Color Purple is
that a remake?
I would imagine so.
It's a musical.
Oh, so it's the Broadway version.
Yeah. So maybe not the Oprah Winfrey remake. And then the last one, Untitled Star Trek.
Yeah, that got pulled.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Untitled Ghostbusters, is that
Is that
still supposed to happen?
Is that continuing on with this current Ghostbusters?
Yeah, so I imagine one would assume based on post-credit scenes that it's going to take place back in New York with Winston reopening
headquarters,
the firehouse. Yeah, headquarters. Yeah.
I'm curious. The Tiger's Apprentice. I wonder if that is anything to do with Hidden Tiger or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If that might be, maybe that's a reach. I don't know.
I have a very strong suspicion it's gonna be an animated movie.
Okay. I stand corrected.
I have no idea. It just seems
so. Like the Tiger's Apprentice. The story centers on a normal boy, Tom, who gets drawn into this world against his wishes when his eccentric grandmother, who he lives with in San Francisco's Chinatown, turns out to be the guardian of the Phoenix Egg. Yeah, that sounds animated for sure.
I have not been this wrong since thinking I would enjoy the Thor movie.
Hey, Thor 3 was good.
He means,
So hold on a second. So
Thunder.
We a lot of good movies this year. Potentially a lot of good movies this year. Yeah. So let's just, I think maybe we could do a quick what's our 1, 2, 3? Cory?
In no particular order.
No, unless you know, you
I can name 3 if I'm reading in a list.
You had said your top
one. Yeah, my honorable mention would be the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I was like, we didn't even talk about. Skipped over that.
Yeah, because you know what, Bob Hoskins is my Mario.
Yeah.
So
hashtag not my Mario.
Not my Mario.
No, yeah, I'd say the honorable mention would be Mario, but yeah, John Wick, 65, Oppenheimer. Like those would be the ones that I'm looking forward to the most.
Ask for
no, and then Across the Spider-Verse. We'll put Oppenheimer in the honorable mention. I'd go Spider-Man, 65, and John Wick. The rest,
Cory's honorable 7, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's the thing with all of these movies.
You have 12 months here.
Yeah, when Cory said, like pick top 5, I'm like, I can't do 5. Like there's so many in here.
Coriolanus wanted to choose 7. That's
Coriolanus will pick a bunch that I will see, but the ones I'm looking forward to, which was the question, would be the 3 that I have now forgotten. John Wick and the rest. Spider-Man.
And
Vishal?
For me, strong number 1 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And then Mission Impossible and John Wick, I think they're like tied at 2, basically.
2 AB.
2, yeah. And for me, I'm excited to see what they do with Dune. But again, there's a bunch of other movies, 65. Obviously, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, just to make sure, just to see.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
that's
didn't want to be.
you don't even have to say it
first.
Yeah,
you had me at the forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, like Cory, there's a bunch of movies that I'm going to want to see. And then there's just those movies are going to be like need to sees, as soon as I can.
Yeah. And
like those are the movies that I'm going to be excited for, long before they're coming out. Obviously I'm going to watch Into the Spider-Verse before June. But I'm going to do a full rewatch of the Mission Impossibles before July and a full rewatch of the John Wicks.
And by full, you mean watch the first one.
Watch the first one,
have the second one on, and then watch
the rest.
Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know what a full rewatch is.
Yeah.
And then same with John Wick. I think John Wick I'm probably going to start fairly soon.
The best thing about the John Wick ones is that they end, and then they start with there's no like
they're very
John
like
Wick
episodic.
Went home, had a nap or something, and then 3 weeks later that's the second one picks up. It's like how that one ends, the second one begins.
He woke up from the nap and okay, we're back into it.
Especially between second and third, he's excommunicado.
But so I think those ones for sure. But I mean, I want to see the Mary movie. I want to see all the Marvel movies.
You guys don't know the top 3.
I gave you 3 with 2 honorable mentions.
Yeah, I'll give. Okay, mine will be Spider-Man, John Wick, and
Mission 65.
God.
It's
yeah,
tough,
can we? Let's do 5.
That's a good thing. Okay, let's do.
I'd say
14.
Mission. I wouldn't put
let's do 14
because it's a. I wouldn't put Mission on a 3 because it's part 1.
It's a part 1. Yeah. So then John Wick, and then it's a toss up for me between Dune and 65. So that's it.
Okay.
I got to go with 4.
Number 1, Mission. Number 2, Spider Across the Universe. Number 3, Ant-Man. Number 4,
he's gonna have a top 10, and
I know. Now who's doing
I'm just gonna give you 5. Number 4, I had it and I lost it. I'm gonna say Flash, and number 5 would be 65, interchangeable with number 4. Those would be my top 5.
I like how we went through all this and like there was no Aquaman mention.
No Cocaine Bear.
I know. I saw something in there.
How did we forget that? As if that actually happened.
Also, I'm excited for Megan to be like streaming.
Yeah, I want to check it out too, but I don't want to.
I don't want to go to the movie for it, but I do want to watch.
Is it like Astro Boy gone wrong kind of thing, right?
Yeah, or like a Chucky, right?
Yeah. It's like Chucky meets
Can't do it.
AI.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I mean, it's basically AI. Actually, we don't even need Chucky as
which was what the Chucky remake was, right?
What's that?
It was
Chucky
AI in the doll
AI?
rather than inhabited by the spirit of a serial killer. Does anyone watch the series, the TV series?
No,
I've
heard pay me enough to watch.
I've heard good things though.
I wanted to.
Takes it back to like the OG movie.
You know what's funny? Really quickly, no one mentioned Oppenheimer.
I think it's one of those ones that
it's one of my
it's on the list, but I don't think like
it's one of those. I want to see it, but I'll get around to it.
Exactly. Like I want to see. I don't think that it's going to be. You know, like you go to the movies to like have a good time, enjoy the action, enjoy the music, enjoy the sound, all that kind of stuff. Oppenheimer's like it's a serious movie, right? Yeah. Like it's going to be
is what's going to kill us all.
Yeah, it's going to be a movie that, you know, like you said, Oscar nods from the beginning, right? But that's not always a movie. That's not always a movie that everyone like rushes to go see.
Why? Because it's too early in the year.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too.
Like it's an award movie, but you're going to release it in the summer because it's Nolan and people are going to go see it.
Yeah, normally it's like November on that they release them, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Wonka's up there as a top nomination for an Oscar then this year. So Uncle Joe, here's looking at you.
Yeah, here's
looking at you. I tell you. But yeah, I mean, all that to say, some really good movies that are potentially coming out next year. And I feel that we all deserve it because the last two years with the pandemic, you guys might have heard of it.
What's that?
The whodemic?
The what? The what now? Yeah, we.
No, I think you mispronounced it. I'm pretty sure, according to the internet, it was called the Plandemic.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yes, the Plandemic.
Forgot about that.
The Plandemic. It's funny. I saw an article where Kirk Cameron was saying, like, 2023 is the year that we need to have.
First of all, let's not gloss over.
Let me stop you.
No, sorry.
There's an article that you found that just somehow came up. And it had Kirk Cameron in it.
Not Kirk Cameron, sorry.
Candace Cameron.
No. The Avatar director.
James
Cameron. Thank you. You said Plandemic, and it just planted the seed. Oh, James Cameron was saying there was
crazy
an article.
Kirk Cameron.
Article that James Cameron was saying, like 2023 is the year that people should be going back to the movie theater as well. If there's a year that can help them do that, I think it's this year for sure. So
I was going to say, gee, I wonder who has a vested interest in people going back to the theater.
Yeah,
I think he was saying that because Avatar made so much money. He was saying like it just goes to show how many people are excited to go back to the theater instead of streaming. Which I mean, I don't think that proves anything. I think I think
year before
going to a movie based on hype is not the same as like absolutely having to go see a movie, right?
Listen, the amount of times I pause a movie because my sons have to do something is like so frustrating. You start putting on a movie, hey, can you pause it? Okay.
No, we cannot.
It gets to the point where it's like, you know what? No, we are not.
Yeah, we
Back
do that
in
now
my
too.
day, so.
Go brush your teeth, go get ready for bed. Can you pause it? No.
No.
That just delays you going to bed.
Yeah, so exactly.
You're going to watch this 45-minute show in the intended time.
That's right.
45 minutes. You're not getting the extra 15 with your pausing to go brush your teeth. Then they rush and do a terrible job.
And cavities ensue.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing with Gene. And yeah.
Close that. Oh, right.
I still don't have a catchy ending for the podcast.
You know what you should do is see if you can wrap it up like you would at the end of an SNL episode, and I'll help you along. I'm going to help you.
Thanks, everyone. So I would like to thank Vishal. Thanks for coming. Oh, my God, Cory. The graphics were amazing tonight. You did so well. And look at our band here in the back. Galactus. I mean, come on.
Give it up.
Scholastic, right here. Yeah. Come back next Saturday. Tune in next time for Open Collar.
Perfect.
Nailed it. couldn't have